Next question, is it immodest to wear a bikini? I'm going to read to you an article I just published for an internet Catholic newspaper website thing on the bikini, all right? This is just a couple paragraphs. Study just came out, Princeton University. I'll just read it to you instead of summarizing. Male college students at Princeton University recently took part in research on how the male brain reacts to seeing people wearing various amounts of clothing. The test subjects were placed in a brain scanner, and for a fraction of a second were shown photographs of women in bikinis as well as men and women dressed modestly. When the young men viewed the scantily clad women, the part of the brain associated with tool use lit up. Screwdriver, table saw, all that stuff. Even though some of the images were shown for as little as 0.2 of a second, the most easily remembered photographs are of bikini-clad women whose heads were cropped off the photos. The purpose of the research, according to Susan Fisk, professor of psychology at Princeton University, was to examine ways in which people view others as a means to an end. The researchers also discovered that when some of the men viewed these scantily clad females, the men's medial prefrontal cortex, part of your brain, was deactivated. It's actually turned off, a part of our brain. This is the region of the brain associated with analyzing a person's thoughts, intentions, and feelings. The doctor remarked, it's as if they are reacting to these women as if they were not fully human. She added, it's a preliminary study, but it's consistent with the idea that they're responding to these photographs as if they were responding to objects rather than to people. She said the discovery was a bit shocking because the lack of activation in this part of the brain is really odd because it hardly ever happens. Researchers have witnessed such dehumanizing absence of brain activity only once before, during a study where people were shown images of drug addicts and homeless people, and they didn't want to have to relate to the people, so they turned their brain away. Another study performed on undergraduates at Princeton found that when men were shown images of women in bikinis, they associate the women with first-person verbs, such as I push, I handle, I grab. When shown images of modestly dressed women, the men associated the images with the third-person forms of the verbs, such as she pushes, she handles, she grabs, she's in control, basically. In other words, fully clothed women were seen as being in control of their own actions, whereas the immodest ones to be acted upon. Although scientists were surprised by their findings, they won't come as a shock to those who know the origins of the bikini. The inventor of the bikini was this guy. He is a French automotive engineer named Louis Réard. He worked at his mom's lingerie business. When he created the first two-piece bathing suit in 1946, he hired a stripper to debut the outfit because no runway model was willing to wear it on the runway. The nude dancer, Micheline Bernardini, worked at the Casino de Paris at the time and apparently didn't have qualms about wearing underwear in public. The runway models felt quite differently. Over a half-century ago, these French models took for granted today's scientists from Princeton find surprising. When a girl wears a bikini, from a guy's perspective, I'm not talking about fashion, guy's perspective, it's the same amount of clothing as just wearing nothing but underwear. If a guy were to walk into a locker room with a bunch of high school girls in their underwear, you would scream, ah! Throw your towel on, run over. But then you're on the beach, you're wearing the exact same amount of fabric, but you're completely comfortable. You may be comfortable, but the man's brain is identical. And so if you wish for a man to see you as for what you're truly worth, you think covering up your body is like because you're bad, or no, your body's wonderful. Perhaps it's so wonderful that it's wonderfully distracting to us, and it kind of keeps us from seeing who you are beyond your body. And so I think when a girl covers herself up, you reveal more of yourself to us, because you reveal to us there's more to you girls than just your bodies. And so if you're ever wondering, is this too tight, is this too short, is this too whatever, you already answered your own question. Opt for the modest outfit, and I think it'll help teach the boys what you're truly worth.